Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Diana and the Book Hunt. In today's video, you're going to see me rant and you're going to see me very anxious. You're going to see a lot of emotions while reading a couple of books, because the books that I'm going to be reading are ones that evoked a lot of feelings and emotions and thoughts when it comes to the plot, the characters, and all the forbiddenness and tabooness and deliciousness that happened while I was reading these books. I decided to participate in the read-along for the Off Balance series by Lucia Franco that was very kindly organized by three wonderful booktubers. Michae from How Waits Michae, and Caitlin from The Love Librarian, and also Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl. These three ladies decided to do like a month-long span of reading the 5 books that are included in the Off Balance series by Lucia Franco. We have Balance, Execution, Release, Twist, and Dismount. And technically there is a 6th book, which is Out of Bounds, or yeah, Out of Bounds, I think the 6th book is called, but that book is not really a book which has a plot. It's like extras, like snippets, letters, journals, and like interviews of the characters that are bound into one. And spoiler alert, I didn't read that one. I read only the 5 books that are included in the series. So yeah, basically you're going to follow my ramblings about how I felt when I was reading this series. I have to put up a disclaimer here. If you don't know what the Off Balance series is about, it's a dark, forbidden romance between a coach and an athlete with a very big age gap. And there are some dubious situations going on. There are some scenes which may be triggering, so please check out the trigger warnings before you go ahead and read these books if you haven't yet. And if you haven't read them yet, I would also recommend not watching my video yet, because there are spoilers ahead. So let me just put up this big disclaimer here that I'm going to be sharing things about these books that may spoil things for you. So if you haven't read them yet, please just come back to this video once you finish them, so you can share your feelings with me and you can share in my feelings about the books. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of me rambling basically within this video. What else can I say? Yeah, I want to preface everything by saying also I was very sad to see that Storytel took off the audiobooks for the Off Balance series, because they were supposed to be uploaded last year, but for some reason they didn't become available. So I went ahead and read the ebooks instead, which took me quite a bit longer because some of these books were really long as well. But maybe I think that it was better like that, because I really got to picture and really follow through on the reading experience in a much more engaged way somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that it was maybe a better thing that I read the ebooks. And what else can I say before we go ahead and dive in? Please let me know, because I don't know how I wrap this up, to be very honest. Please let me know if you've read these books, what you thought about them. If you want to chat about them on Instagram, please DM me there. I would be very glad to share experiences when it comes to these books, because they were messy, toxic, kind of guilty pleasure type of books. So I'm down to talk about anything regarding these books, because there were just a lot of things going on and a lot of goodness that we can discuss. And another last disclaimer I'm going to put up here is I really tried to suspend my disbelief here. Obviously we don't condone in real life coach athlete, very big age gap situations going on in a romantic sense between a man and a girl. So yeah, we're just leaving our morals and ethics behind here now, and then we're diving into the book so we can enjoy this kind of taboo experience together. So without further ado, let me show you what I went through when I read these 5 books. Hey everyone, this is my very first update on my progress with Balance by Lucia Franco, the first book in the Off Balance series. It's kind of hectic around here because I'm in the park and it's a beautiful sunny day, so a lot of people are here, but I've just taken the only free bench in the park, I think. And I've got my trusted ebook here where I'm diving into the book, and I'm about almost 20% in, like 18-19% into the book, and I am loving it. I do have to say that obviously I'm very worried about how this whole relationship between athlete and coach is going to go, because she's only 15 at this moment, and I really hope that he's gonna wait out until she's a bit older, obviously. But let's wait and see. Thankfully it's fiction, so I don't have to think about how this would work out in real life, so I'm really trying to suspend my disbelief for this one, because right now I'm really loving how the dynamic is working out, because he is the typical Russian hardcore coach who wants to make a champion out of her, and she is someone who did not expect for that level of strictness and toughness and badass kind of take it or leave it, it's all or nothing attitude from Kova. So yeah, basically we have Kova, who is the Russian coach, the gymnastics coach for Adriana, who is this gymnast who has this aspiration of becoming an Olympic gymnast champion, and she wants to really make it, but it seems like she has started off really late with gymnastics, so she has to catch up to become this elite athlete. So it will take some time for her to adjust to his regimen, because he's her new coach, so that he can get her ready for the Olympics. That means that she needs to make a lot of sacrifices. She needs to really up her game and her level. So I do have to say, Kova is an absolute Russian dream. Oh, why is this so bad to say? I don't know. It's kind of stereotypical, obviously, but he is this wonderful, beautiful specimen of a man, an athlete with a marvelous body and marvelous kind of features. The green eyes with thick eyelashes and black hair and everything that you want to see in a man, basically, and a very much an asshole type of attitude. So very curious to see how it and whether he will redeem himself with the dickish kind of personality that he is showing Adriana at the moment. And Adriana is the typical 15-year-old. I mean, I think that is something that I'm getting a hang of, or at least I'm feeling it correctly, if I can say so. So she really seems like a 15-year-old to me in my head, with the right amount of drama, right amount of complaining and kind of dramatics when someone calls her out on something, and the right amount of kind of admiration for someone who is her senior. So yeah, I think yeah, Lucia Franco has done a very good job at portraying the two characters within their positions very well. So yeah, that's something that I'm appreciating at the moment. So yeah, I'm really loving it. I'm very easily addicted to this type of stories. So I think once I get into it, I am not going to be letting it go. I think I'm going to binge all books together in like a week or two time. But yeah, I'm really thankful to the ladies who organized this read along, because I've been wanting to pick up these books for quite some time, and I'm really happy that now I have the chance to do so, and also read along with everyone and discuss these books and love on these characters together with someone else. So yeah, I'm really happy to have started this, and I can't wait to see how the story will progress within the first book. I'll let you know once I'm about 50-70% in, or maybe when I finish it. We'll see. Once the mood strikes, or once something happens within the book that I want to share with you, I will let you know. So I'm about 80% within this first book of the Off Balance series, and everyone, my voice is cracking. I'm just so emotional right now. my stomach is in knots. What the hell am I reading right now? I mean, first of all, let me just go back here. So, first of all, this book kept me up almost all night. I had bags under my eyes that I needed to cover with so much makeup because I look like crap today. This is the first thing. The second thing is Lucia, Franco, how dare you? How dare you make a book or write a book that is just so toxic, but at the same time feeling like it's the best guilty pleasure that someone can have? I mean, what is going on? My personality is torn at the moment. I think I mentioned in the previous update that I'm trying to suspend my disbelief, and at some point it was very dubious for me. I was like, okay, this is not okay. I mean, he's her coach, she's 16, he's 32. This is not good. And the way that they were approaching each other is just so toxic. It's just all physical attraction and going at it in a very aggressive way, almost, I want to say. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm on board with that. But the more you read, the more you want to know. It's so bad, so toxic. I mean, bad in a good way. Does that make sense? I'm rambling here. I just want to put my feelings into this video so I know how I felt when I look back at reading this book. So I'm 80% into the book, and I don't want to make an update when I've finished it because I don't want to know whether it has a cliffhanger or not. At the moment, we're hating Kova because he has given in to his physical attraction to Adriana. They have had sex already and he's taken her virginity, but he didn't know that he took her virginity, so he's really pissed off about that right now. That is something that I don't typically like. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, the third act breakup or whatever it's called could have been something else, but whatever. But they're just manipulating each other so much. At the moment, it's so toxic. He wants to break it off. She is kind of trying to seduce him to explain that what they've done is not a mistake, that she was consenting to what they were doing, and even though she's now 16, it's not a bad thing. And then he's also cheating on his girlfriend. Obviously, that is bad. But I'm like, we don't know Katya, so I really cannot feel any kind of connection with her. So I'm like, leave Katya and go for the 16-year-old, which is just mental. I'm like, no, this is not good. But at the same time, I'm gonna be honest here. So obviously, this in real life would be atrocious, but we're reading fiction here. We're kind of trying to bring to life some kind of a fantasy that is dark and is some kind of like really forbidden. So we're really suspending our disbelief here. We do not condone this in real life, but for this book's sake, like I mentioned, it's like a guilty pleasure. So I am really in knots at the moment. Like my stomach is literally in knots, and I have not had that happen to me in a very long time. So I do have to give props for the author making this story so compelling for me to try to want to read on. So I am almost like, I have so many things to do today. I mean, I need to record a video, I need to go to a doctor's appointment, I need to do so many things today, and I'm like, why do you have to do those things? I just need to finish this book already. I want to know what is going to happen. So yeah, this is my rambling update at 80% within the first book. So I am really curious to see how this vlog is going to go, as we have so many more books to go within this series. So Lord help me. Lord help me with this series. I am very emotional. I'm very affected by what is happening, and I just want Kova and Adriana to kind of get their shit together and either break up or make up. I don't know what's gonna happen, and seeing as we have so many books to go, there's going to be a lot of drama. So yeah, I'm here for it, but at the same time, I want to unknot all of the knots in my belly. So let's see how that's gonna go, and I'll update you in the next one. Hello everyone. I am ready to update you on my progress with the Off Balance series. I'm going to be quite honest, I was so obsessed with the first book, and then I started the second book immediately after that. But there's just so much drama going on that my anxiety kind of got the better of me. So I kind of decided to put it down for one day and pick up another book. So yesterday I didn't read Execution because I'm maybe like 50% into Execution at the moment. I kind of put it down and I decided to just distance myself a little bit from Kova and Adriana. And I have to say, obviously he calls her Ria, and I get that everyone is loving the fact that he calls her Ria, but I love Adriana more, so I will continue, I think, calling her Adriana. And I just want to let you know what my thoughts are now that I've kind of distanced myself from the plot for a day and have kind of had the time to chew it over and see how I feel about it. I don't know, I think in the previous two updates that I did with you, I did not really go into a lot of details about the plot. I was just so kind of hyper about what I was reading and kind of really had this very emotional response to what I'm reading, that I didn't really let you know what I thought about other things that really stuck out to me. The first one being, I absolutely love the fact that the author has spent such an amount of time of doing probably research. I don't know if she was a gymnast herself or something, or whether she just did really extensive research on gymnastics, but the fact that she has so many scenes of how Adriana prepares herself for a specific event, how Kova coaches her, all of the little tidbits of gymnastics that we get in there are just so amazing, and I am in awe of just how amazing this plotline is within the book. So I really love that, and I really love that Adriana really focuses on her career. It's not really the typical teenage obsessed kind of love story. Obviously we do have that. A big portion of the book is really focused on the relationship between her and Kova, but we also really get her struggle of wanting to prove herself to her family, most of all her mother, that she is very passionate about gymnastics and she wants to have that Olympic medal that she is really working towards. So I really love that. I love this about the book, and I'm not the type of person who will skip those scenes to get to the romance. I really want to know all the blood, sweat, and tears that she is putting into getting to her professional goal. So I really love that about the book. And then the fact that she has a best friend who is very much egocentric at the moment. So she has some kind of an issue herself within her life, so she's not there for Adriana a lot of the times. That really is bugging me. I mean, when I think about girl code, you know, all of my best friends, if someone calls me, if I don't have the chance to pick up right at this moment, I am going to do it at the first possible occasion. I mean, I'm very, very loyal. I'm a proponent of, whenever you find your people, to really never try and lose their trust and their trust in your reliability, that you're a friend of theirs. So whenever I have a situation where two girls or two women are friends and one of them is just not as serious as the other one, that really bugs me. So I'm kind of really pissed off that we're getting such a dynamic that they really talk about themselves considering that they're best friends, but they're not really best friends in the sense that I understand best friends work. So that kind of bothers me. That's another side topic. And then what else? I mean, the relationship between Adriana, her parents, and her brother, that's something that really it is a very interesting driving force within the story, because she has a good relationship with her brother, which I love. That's something that doesn't happen very often. And then we have her dad, so she's a daddy's girl. Her dad is supporting her and kind of giving her everything that she wants, but he's supporting her maybe more materially than emotionally. So yeah, there is a gap there. But then her mom is just a total witch. She's horrible. She's making her kind of feed her insecurities, and so the mother wants Adriana to be as thin as possible, which is just horrible. And then she wants to control her in every possible way. She wants to take gymnastics away from her. There is the scene where they have the New Year's party and her mother is just absolutely horrible towards her. She even is almost like physically abusive to her. So yeah, that is absolutely horrid, and I do understand why a teenage girl would be so influenced to go into bad habits and dramatics whenever the most important person in your life is not supporting you the correct way. So that is going to play a big part in the story, I'm sure, since we have like 3 or 4 more books to go. And then what else do we have that I've not discussed before? The interesting thing about the mom, she kind of reacts badly towards Katya, so Kova's girlfriend. Like, what is going on there? Is Katya somehow involved with maybe Adriana's dad? Am I right? I don't know. Because it looks like Joy, Adriana's mom, is kind of like jealous and a bit offensive towards Katya. While, yeah, I don't think that she's gonna be involved with Xavier, who is Adriana's brother. I think it's the dad that something is going on between these two, and especially because Kova was kind of wondering whether Katya is cheating on him as well. A lot of toxicity is going on in this book. We already know that Xavier probably has a relationship with Adriana's best friend, and they're kind of keeping it secret. They don't want Adriana to know. And yeah, just a lot is going on. I mean, there's a lot of dubious things going on, including the fact that Adriana and Kova have had so many sexual encounters and they have not protected themselves, and so Kova made Adriana take the morning after pill a couple of times, which is just, why are we going through this? I mean, I would have wanted this to be something else. So I would have wanted Kova to encourage her to go on birth control or something. Just why does it have to go through that scenario? And also, why just not use protection? I mean, come on. Especially because he has a girlfriend with whom he's also physical. That is just very wrong. But yeah, I'm getting kind of the anxiety back when I think about all the things that are going on within this book. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. That's why I kind of took a break from it, and now I'm going to continue on, try to finish the second book today. And then we have a weekend ahead of us, so I'm going to see whether I'm going to have time to pick up one of the other books or the third book. We're gonna wait and see, and it really depends on how this book is going to end. Honestly, if it's just too much for me, I'm going to probably pick up another book before I continue on, but I definitely want to know what's gonna happen further, so I'm continuing on with the series. While I love it at some parts, I'm also getting anxiety at some point, so I'm kind of a bit 50-50 on the fence at the moment. We'll see how that goes, and yeah, I'll update you once I know more. It is currently 1 a.m. in the morning, and I cannot stop reading this freaking book. I finished the third book release, and that book was just so crushing for me, because already at the start of the book, you know that something is wrong with Adriana. She is getting all these calls from her doctors. She is missing out on those appointments, and she is not feeling herself, and you know that something is very wrong, but you're like keeping your fingers crossed that it's not too bad. And then by the end you find out that it's really, really, really bad. And I'm like, how is she going to continue? How does someone just disregard their health and their well-being for the sake of this crazy dream that she has to go to the Olympics? I mean, while it's admirable, I'm like, she's gonna die. Something really bad is gonna happen, and I'm like so anxiety ridden at the moment. I'm like, what is it, 10% into Twist, the fourth book, and I can't go to sleep. I just need to read on to see what's gonna happen. Is she going to make it to qualify to the Olympics, or is she going to collapse at any moment? What is going to happen? And I hate that she's lying to Kova about it. And I hate how he's going to react when he finds out, how he's going to be betrayed that she lied to him. I just hate it. Yeah, we found out a lot of things in the last book, in, what was it, in Release. So Adriana's mother is not her real mother. Basically, her dad had an affair, and she is born out of wedlock, if you will. And yeah, that's why her mom was being so nasty to her. And there was a big blow-up scene of how she found out about it. And by the way, her mom, who is not her mom, Joy, she found out about her and Kova, and she threatened that she's going to expose them. And that's something I'm waiting out on, because I think she will try to do it. Yeah, things with Adriana and Kova have been kind of going through ups and downs, and she slept with Hayden. I don't like that, but I think Kova is gonna kill him. I think he's gonna find out and he's gonna kill him at some point. I don't know. And then, yeah, they kind of finally admitted to each other that they love each other in their own like weird way. They admitted it to each other, and I'm kind of feeling heartburn or like heart sick over everything, and my phone is starting to tremble because my arm is getting tired of holding up the phone. So I'm gonna wrap up here. I need to go to sleep, but I can't with this book. I really can't. I'm gonna see how far I'll come with the fourth book before I really need to get some shut-eye, and I'll update you once I have another heartbreaking moment with these two. So yeah, good night. Hey everyone, it's time for another update on my progress with the Off Balance series. I am dying to share with you the amount of anxiety I'm feeling with these books. I think this is going to be a bit of an unhinged type of vlog where I am desperately trying to cling on to my sanity because these people are killing me. I have finished Twist, and I have just started Dismount, and I'm about, I don't know, I'm about like 10 chapters into Dismount, and honestly, the ball of anxiety that I'm feeling inside of my chest is just growing and growing. And even though I kind of try to calm myself down with the fact that I somehow know that there's going to be a happily ever after, so I know that these people are going to get their shit together and everything is going to work out, at the moment it feels like it's the end of the world, and it feels like everything is just going wrong. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. So I'm like, why is this happening? Come on, there has to be some kind of a sliver of happiness here, but it just doesn't happen. So in twist, we found out that, surprise, surprise, having unprotected sex leads to pregnancy. So yeah, we have Adriana, who is pregnant while she has kidney disease and she has lupus, and it's not ideal because she's just a couple of weeks away from the Olympic trials, and it's just shit is about hitting the fan in the worst way possible. She's trying to figure out how to tell Kova. Kova is kind of, he loves her. He's trying to figure out a way of how to divorce his wife. We find out that his wife has been kind of manipulating him and blackmailing him into their relationship, and a lot of things have happened. We find out what the backstory is of Avery and Xavier, so Adriana's brother and her best friend. A lot of things happened there, and the positive thing that came out of twist is that Avery and Adriana made up and now they're besties again. So that's about, oh, there's one more thing that is positive, and that is that she got to know her biological mother, and she is kind of a positive influence on her, a positive light in her life at the moment. So yeah, that's something that happens. And then the climax within the story, so the kind of the culmination of everything, happens in the end of twist, where Adriana's father catches Kova and Rhea, and there is this big fight that commences and Adriana gets hurt. So in Dismount, in the last book, it's actually not the last book as far as I understood, but let's say the last book that we have, it's kind of difficult to see how this situation will turn out positively, because Adriana is in the hospital. She has lost the baby. She's had a miscarriage. Her father has hurt her. He has dislocated her elbow. So is it elbow? No, it's elbow. How do you say that? It's part of the arm. He has injured her. So it's kind of difficult to imagine that she's going to be able to compete. And Kova is in jail because her dad pressed charges. And he actually is adamant about the fact that he's not going to drop the charges. He wants Kova to go to jail. He's so betrayed by everything that has happened, and Adriana can't think of a way of how to get out of that situation because she needs Kova. And it's a whole mess, everyone. It's a whole mess. And like I mentioned, the anxiety that I'm feeling with these books is just too real for words. And I'm totally feeling like nothing is going to go right with these people, and I'm rooting for them. I don't know, in the beginning, I have to say, when I read Balance, I was having a tough time with the age difference and how the story was kind of evolving. But yeah, 5 books in, and there is no way to not be connected to these characters. They've gone through so much together, and now Adriana is 18, so it kind of makes more sense that I view her as a more adult type of person, and the decisions that she is trying to make seem more on the mature side than when the book started in Balance. So I don't know. I'm just too involved now to put morals into the whole thing and try to be righteous about the whole thing. Obviously, I get Adriana's father's point. I get that he's upset, that he's betrayed, and that it's a totally normal thing for a parent to have these feelings and to try to protect their child. But at the same time, I feel for Kova and Ria, and I want him to get out of jail, and I want her to be able to be with her man. So I'm torn here. I'm torn, and I feel bad, and I just cannot wait for that happily ever after to happen. So I'm going to be updating you once that happens, so that we know, and so that my heart can be assured. And yeah, I'm going to update you once I know more, and probably once I finish this book. And then I need to find out whether I can get my hands on, is it Out of Bounds? That's the latest book that came out. I don't know what that book is. Is it like some kind of an extended epilogue? Is it like what happens years after? I don't know what that book is. I just saw that there is this Out of Bounds thing that I need to figure out. I'll obviously need to get the ebook for it again because I couldn't get my hands on the audiobook. So I'm going to see whether I'm going to read that one for the read along as well. Read along, readathon, I don't know what this is. I'm just rambling now, so I'm going to stop it here while I'm ahead, and I'm going to update you soon. Hello everyone. It's time for my last update on the Off Balance series, the 5th book, Dismount. I finished it 2 days ago. I kind of wanted to let it simmer before I share my thoughts with you, because the 5th book was really frustrating, a bit heart-wrenching, and I think that the thing that bothered me the most is that I felt like it was rushed. I felt like it could have been longer, and the end was really kind of, I don't know, we have a Bulgarian saying that really jumps to mind. It's like you patted it twice and then it was off and go, you know? It's just it wasn't as flushed out as I would have loved it to be. The thing is, so in Twist, we had the situation coming forth that Adriana and Kova were expecting a baby, and then her father caught them, so they got into this big fight where Adriana got hurt and she lost her baby. So in the 5th book, we're in the situation of her trying to recuperate from the injuries that she sustained during this fight, because her dad twisted her elbow, and she obviously has the miscarriage that she had that she needs to deal with as well. And in the meantime, her dad also pressed charges against Kova, so he was arrested. So that whole situation was really heartbreaking. Obviously, you want the situation to get resolved in the best possible way so the two of them can get back together, but you see that the dad is really not budging at all. He's not going to show any kind of understanding or remorse for his actions. So at least his actions towards Kova, that is. So yeah, Adriana needs to pick herself back up and see how she needs to move forward, because she's going to the Olympics. And yeah, basically Kova, he is absolutely distraught by what has happened. The whole fight really got to him. The fact that he doesn't really see how he can manage to overcome all of the obstacles to eventually be with her, even though now she has turned 18. They still really can't get a break to get to the point where they can be together. So throughout the whole book, they're still not together. They still have these major obstacles that they cannot seem to overcome. And in the meantime, the positive light within the book is the fact that she does go to the Olympics, and her father understands that she needs her coach there. So he allows for Kova to join her, and they have this beautiful experience of them achieving the best possible accomplishments for her when it comes to that tournament. So that was really wonderful to see. I love that. And I was hoping that that would be the point where they would start to communicate towards what they want to see happen with the situation, how they see evolving, or how they see helping each other get to the point where they can be together. And that's where the frustration for me came in, because I felt like they didn't communicate at all. Both of them were thinking in their own head how everything is screwed up, and they just didn't see eye to eye on how they should resolve things. And she was putting ultimatums on him, and he had kind of given up on trying to be with her at the moment because he doesn't see a way of that happening. So he's like, you need to wait for me until the time arises when I can come and get you, you know? And she's like, yeah, I don't have that time because I'm sick. So if you want me, you want me now. Otherwise, you don't want me at all. And I'm like, I understand she's 18 and she's being overly dramatic and she wants everything to happen right now. But realistically speaking, I mean, come on. It was just putting him in an impossible situation. So I felt like she felt betrayed by him while she was betraying herself with the ultimatum that she was placing on him. So that really sucked, especially as a mature person reading that kind of perspective. It just got so frustrating for me. And then moving on to the story, like both of them being absolutely miserable for months and months. So the thing is, like this book is, the last one is like 300 and something pages, and throughout the whole book they're miserable because they're not together. And then in the end, he starts sending her his journals where she's reading how, because she left him eventually to go to college, and she was like, I need to focus on me, and you do you, I'll do me, and then we'll see if we get together, then we do. um yeah, that moment, by the way, when they were at the airport and they were saying goodbye to each other, for both of them, they don't know if that's the last goodbye or not. At least Kova says that he's going to come back for her, but she's absolutely doubtful that their situation will get resolved. That was really heart-wrenching. I'm gonna say I almost teared up with that moment. I was really rooting for them to not do it. But then maybe it was for the best. Both of them decided that it was for the best, probably, that happened, because both of them were able to grow out of that situation. So my son is calling me. I apologize. Oh my gosh. So my son came in to interrupt me, and he's screaming downstairs is that he's like, oh, my mom, she is filming herself again. But really, he was so, how do you say, almost like an indignant, reaction. She's filming herself again. Come on. I'm just so... child services are gonna come and they're gonna say, oh, this woman, she's filming herself, and their son is sitting there just waiting for her. So bad. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So eventually, obviously, it turned out that that break that they imposed on themselves was something that they both needed to grow and to get together where they're both in a better place. So I get that. I'm not opposed to that, but the miscommunication that they had throughout the book was just so frustrating for me to read. And in the end, I felt like, okay, so he came for her, and that's how the book ended, basically, because then we had like an epilogue, and 13 years later they have kids, etc., etc. And I'm like, but okay, so he's better, but how did that conversation go? I wanted to know more about that. How did they get back together, and what happened with Frank? So in the epilogue, we find out that Frank was only okay with them. So her dad, he was only okay with them after she had her first child, which means that it's been years since they had a good relationship, at least Kova and Frank. But then I felt cheated in the end out of that kind of more extended ending and conversations that were needed to round off the book. So that's something that definitely was difficult for me to swallow. That's why I didn't want to record the wrap up once I finished Dismount. And I was really wondering whether I need to read Out of Bounds. I saw that on Kindle I can get it for like €5, which, okay, I can get it, but I'm like, I was reading through Goodreads reviews, and people were like, it's like, letters, interviews, kind of not it's not really a book, is it? It's like snippets of things that are kind of glued together that give you more of Riankova, but not really anything additional to the story. Maybe I read that only maybe the interview that it's like Lucia Franco interviewing Kova. That one was really worth it to read, so I'm really still wondering whether to read it. But I'm on the fence. I'm gonna see. I want to see the live show where all the ladies, the booktubers who have organized this, how that's gonna go, and then I'm gonna decide whether I'm going to purchase Out of Bounds as well to read that through. And yeah, basically, overall, just to wrap it up, I really loved the series. It put me through a lot of feelings, and I really binged through it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I gave the first 4 books 5 stars. And then the last book I gave 4.5 stars because of those little things that really weren't as flushed out as I would have wanted. Especially the ending. I would have wanted a bit of a longer ending. And so to give it an overall kind of ranking, it's definitely a 5-star read for me. It's a favorite series of mine now, and if it ever comes out on audio on Storytel, hopefully it will, I will definitely reread it because I would love to hear it, to experience it in a different way. So yeah, basically these were all my thoughts and feelings on the 5 books. So from Balance to Dismount. And should I pick up Out of Bounds before I post this vlog, because I'm gonna post it in February probably, I'm going to record an additional ending to this vlog. But should I not, then I'm going to just wrap it up right now. I have loved being with these characters. I'm eternally grateful to Lucia Franco for writing such a splendid, long, amazing, flushed out story. Overall, it was such an experience, and I've fallen in love with gymnastics all over again because I've loved gymnastics my whole life. I have followed gymnastics on TV because I love sports in general, and actually within our little family here we have someone who is into acrobatics, so I've loved watching that as well. So I've always had a thing for the sport itself, and I've fallen in love with it again through this story. And overall, it is very forbidden, it's very taboo, it's very dark and twisted. There are definitely moments where you wonder to yourself if you're sane for condoning reading such a story. But then at the same time, it's fiction, right? We need to have guilty pleasures in life, and this is definitely one of mine now. So I really loved it, and I hope that if you've read through the 5 books and you've loved them as much as I did, that we can share our mutual love for Lucia Franco and these characters. I hope you enjoyed my ranty vlog. I hope you enjoyed this process of the read along as well, and I'm thankful for all the ladies. So Cheyenne, Caitlin from The Love Library, and Cheyenne is from That Tall Book Girl, and Michae from Oh Hey It's Michae. I love you ladies. Thank you so much for organizing this read along because it allowed me to find out that I love these books as well, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and see you soon. Happy reading. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Take care, and bye-bye.